Today's topic, the way it works, wise use of our creative power. From his book 365, Science of Mind, Ernest Holmes wrote, "New arts, new sciences, new philosophies, better government, and a higher civilization wait on our thoughts. The infinite energy of life and the possibility of our future evolution work through our imagination and will. The time is ready, the place is where we are now, and it is done unto all as they really believe and act." Take a breath with me and enter the silence within, sensing your union with God. Let us now open our hearts to miracles by using the creative power of our word. I celebrate the presence that is the basic reality of all life and the power that is mine to use for true personal and global transformations.
So, is everybody ready for a year full of miracles? Yes! So that's where I want us to start. I want us to start with the awareness that where we invest our intention and where we invest our belief and our faith really matters. We are all born with 100% of all the faith that we could ever need. It's already there. It's like, where are we investing it? Are we investing it in our problems by rehearsing them over and over? Or we are investing them in something new, in new creations, and in the idea of not only miracles, but big miracles. And the reason why I want you to think in that way is because it's important to remember the source of it all, that presence that lives, moves, and has its being in us, right? And the source of it all makes big miracles. If we look around us and if we travel all over the planet, what we are looking at, and when we look out into the cosmos and all of those beautiful pictures that that we're seeing thanks to all of the telescopes, the Hubble, and all of that we have available to us, we are looking at the body of God, right? God made flesh. And what we are seeing is something that is mind-blowingly amazing. The body of God, and even the human body. Any of you interested in that kind of thing? I know there's a lot on Nova and some of the other TV shows on that. Even the miracle of the human body is just amazing, and the way it responds to our thoughts and beliefs. There's a whole series of sciences that are watching how our beliefs affect our bodies, our thoughts. And so the miraculous nature of this universe is embedded in us. The power of creation that created this vast universe is the same miracle-making power that is within us. Can you get that? I mean, we'll just actually it's about allowing that to permeate deeply. We are created to be miracle makers. We are it's a co-creation process because we are not only opening ourselves to being divinely inspired by a universal mind that is a field of pure potentiality and possibility, and we are a point of consciousness in that universal mind receiving that. We are also receiving guidance. Once we catch a vision and we go with it, we're receiving guidance moment by moment. Go here, go there, do this, do that, think this, think that. And then we become our mental atmosphere, which is our, basically our subconscious mind and our conscious mind all working together. we become this amazing magnet for all that we desire. And uh, when I think about that, it blows my mind at times when I really take time and contemplate that. So let's just take a breath for a moment and just ask ourselves, am I really willing to invest my belief, my whole faith, that all of that energy of faith in the awareness that big miracles, it's the nature of God, the universe itself that exploded into being from a little tiny particle, is what we're told, into this amazing, ever expanding thing. Am I willing to believe that that is the truth about me, that I am of that same source and I am a representative of God here on this planet? I am here to demonstrate that divinity. So everybody just breathe that in. Breathe it in. Because that's the basis of it all, is really to expand ourselves into that awareness. So this is a year of action. It's spirituality in action. And the thing that's important to know about miracles, we talk about miracles, and because they just seem so out of the ordinary, right? When we call something a miracle that just seems like, how did that ever happen? We sometimes wonder. But it's important to remember that miracles are natural. They are a natural outcome of universal law, the operation of love operating through law, an infallible law that acts according to what we believe. They're natural. And so it's important that we use law wisely, universal law wisely, because the truth is we're using it all the time, right? Every time we think, every time we focus on something, every time we speak, we're using the universal law. So why not use it wisely? And that's when miracles start happening, when we become really conscious and start directing our thoughts moment by moment and day by day. And when we notice we're getting off track, we rein ourselves in. It's like, no, I'm going this way. So action. When I'm talking about action, there are really two aspects of that. It means that we move beyond just theory. Some of us, and I can tend to be that way, really love the theory of how the mind works. We get all excited about it and we read about it and how cool that is, and we love talking to other people about it. But this is where the rubber meets the road. When we're talking action, we're talking a commitment, a decision to engage in daily spiritual practice, and a decision to watch our thoughts and keep them moving in the right direction, right? So it's interaction. That's the first thing. Yeah, and it's interaction and inspired. It's being willing to listen for the guidance, inspired. And then there's external action. And I'm not just talking about random action where we just throw ourselves in all different directions. I'm talking about listening for guidance and allowing guidance to move us, in the right direction. So taking all of that together, interaction, external action, and listening for guidance, staying connected with the truth of who we are, then that's wise use of the universal law. So again, with all the major challenges that are going on in our world today, and whether they're personal or whether they are in our country or whether they are global, we can no longer stick our heads in the sand and hope somebody else will fix it. Say, oh, I'll just stay in my little corner here and do my thing and just let everybody else do their thing. We are magnificent spiritual beings. We have gifts and talents beyond our comprehension. Anybody discover some talents they had that they didn't realize that they had throughout their lives? Yeah. And there are more. I guarantee you, there are more hidden talents that have not even been revealed yet that each of you have. So we have this amazing reservoir. It's an inexhaustible reservoir of talents and abilities available to us that we can use when we catch a vision. When we catch a vision. So that's one of the key things. And there are people throughout our, so here's the question. So the question is, and you can take it into contemplation, what is mine to do? This is a good question to live in your daily practice. Is what is mine to do here on this planet, in this time, space, reality that we're living right now? Because remember, we are spiritual beings having a spiritual experience in a human incarnation. We are eternal beings, and we came here for a purpose to demonstrate and express our divinity and to be a part of this thing called human existence on this planet. So we all have purpose. And the great role models, think of the great role models of spirituality in action. We talked a little bit about it last week. So who are some of your favorite role models of spirituality in action? Just call them out. You. Others? Okay. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. Oprah? Abraham Hicks? Yes. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Jesus. Dalai Lama? Pardon? Oh, Gary Zukav? Okay, so Gary Zukav. Krishna? Krishnamurti? Huh? Jesus. Wayne Dyer? Yes. Mother Teresa? Uh-huh. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The center, yeah. Our spiritual community. Mm-hmm. Right. There are many. You could go on and on. I had Rosa Parks, Buddha, Martin Luther King, Gandhi, and the others that you named. So, and everybody in this room. Spirituality in action. Every one of you. Yes. So it's important to own it and claim it because we are not static beings. We are ever unfolding. We are actually more of a process than a static being. There's a whole realm or leg of new thought that's called process new thought. And it's the idea that we are really process beings. We look like we're really solid and stuff like that, but we're ever unfolding. We're ever moving. There's a movement to us and to our consciousness. And because we're conscious, we can direct where that consciousness goes. Oh, I like that. I like that. We're ecstatic beings. So with the power of creation in ourselves, we can recreate ourselves over and over again. I know at one point in time somebody had said to me, "You just kind of keep recreating yourself." And I said, "Yeah, isn't that what it's all about? We just keep recreating ourselves." So how many versions of yourself have you had up until now? Think of it. All the way from being an infant to the present moment. How many versions? And yeah. And there are more versions. There are more. There are more versions of you that are available, which is really exciting. So that's the consciousness of miracles. That's the basis. That's the underlying basis of the consciousness of miracle making is understanding the nature of God and who we are as individualized expressions of God. So what I'd like today to talk about today is four basic parts of a miracle making consciousness. And it starts off with addressing a need in the world. being aware of a need that is out there. And then there's the burning desire to make a difference. The burning desire to make a difference. And then to take inspired action, which means vision, pray, listen for guidance, find co creative partners, and then the P word, persistence. Persistence. Sticking with it even when things are not looking like they're working. You stick with it anyway. Yeah. So, one of the illustrations I'd like to share with you was actually brought to my attention by my daughter Michelle. And um, it's about a young woman a girl at age 10. This girl, um, because of her own personal experience, 10 years old, 2015, um, decided to start a food pantry in her town of Mount Olive, North Carolina. Her name is Mackenzie Hinton. And the name of this pantry is called Make a Difference Food Pantry. And her personal experience had simply been this. She and her her mother had an illness and ended up being paralyzed for 6 months. And the family went through a lot of hardship. They weren't able to make ends meet. And what they noticed is all the people who came to their assistance to support them. And through that experience, and they're very deeply spiritual people. They talk in one of the videos that I saw. They talked about relying on God. But through this whole experience, she decided that she wanted to make a difference. Her mother said it's important to give back, to pay it forward. So this 10-year-old gets this idea she wants to start a food pantry. I think she's 13 right there. But 10-year-old, I'm going to start a food pantry. And her parents said, okay, so they supported her. This girl was able to rally people in her community. She now has a huge board of directors. She has all kinds of sponsors. I mean, all of the big box stores and all of those other places in the whole area. Yeah, there's an example of a $20,000 check given to her by Tyson Foods. And then because the word is out, because her enthusiasm, her burning, she saw a need, she had a burning desire to make a difference, and the universe, that energy and that focus, the universe can't help itself but support her. And so she has all of these volunteers, co-creative partners. I mentioned the sponsors, donors, and the first time I was exposed to her, she's this little bubbly kid. I mean, she has all this kid energy. She's kind of goofy. I mean, she's kind of fun and goofy, but a burning desire is an amazing thing. It accomplishes things that you just don't think are possible. And of course, optimism is so important to realize you just keep pushing forward, because she did talk in one of the videos about how there were times when it looked as if they weren't able to meet their bills, because what they do is they buy, some food is donated, but they do buy food that is just about ready to go, to be thrown out, but still in good shape. Or sometimes it's um, food that doesn't meet the specs. They might have a little bruise here or there, and the store would throw it out, and she's able to get it at a discount. But one way or another, she gets fresh produce and meat and all of the things that people want 3 Thursdays a month. And then they make deliveries. She said they deliver like close to 400 meals to seniors as well, each month. So they serve 7,000 people a month, and 400 of them are meals that are delivered to seniors. This is in Mount Olive, North Carolina. A 10-year-old, a vision, a burning desire of a 10-year-old. What was it again? She saw a need. There was a burning desire. She took action and she persisted. Those four things are so important. And I'm so glad you came today, Lucinda, because Lucinda, I mean, many of us are like that, but if you don't mind, Lucinda, I want to use what's going on with our teen program as an example. Lucinda has had a burning desire since I met her. Her burning desire is to make a difference not only in the lives of her grandsons, Elijah and Isaac. Her burning desire is to make a difference in the lives of teens, to give them she went all the way through practitioner training. She saw how important it was to understand and embrace these principles and to have that deeper connection with the divine, to realize the divine is within and that creative power is available to us. And she wanted to make sure that as many teens as possible were exposed to this type of teaching. And she's she's held that burning desire for a long time, right, Lucinda? A long time. And in this last year, it's now unfolding. You know, there's about once a month they get together. The teens get together. Virgie told me there are about 15 teens total, right, that are involved. It is. It is. It's a lot. It is a lot. It's a big thing. So there's the burning desire. She saw a need. There's a burning desire, and Lucinda, I know, is really devoted to the divine, devoted to God. She's here for God. I mean, I hear it in her faith is amazing. In fact, her fellow students always said, "We want faith like Lucinda." She invests her faith in God. It's invested. Yes? Oh yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. And so here's the cool thing that has been unfolding recently. And it's so cool that Danielle's here too. Danielle shows up at our center, playing to play keyboard. And it was a connection that I had with Reverend Jackie, and we knew that she was available, and we wanted to have a keyboard player on choir Sundays, right, Sharon? So anyway, here's Danielle. We're all in a circle and we're talking about our teen thing. And Danielle gets all excited and said, "Well, I was a CSL teen at one time. I went through, I've done all of that and I've gone to camp and I am so excited and enthusiastic about camp. I love camp. It's great. And now I'm a teen advisor." She's a trained by CSL teen advisor. And then we hear about, then we start raising, Tom comes up with this idea, talk about co-creative partners. Lucinda's attracting all these co-creative partners, and Virgie, another co-creative partner. Me, I'm a co-creative partner, right? Our community is now in co-creative partnership with you. And so we have lighthouses, the mindfulness poles on the back that we've been, the teens put together and that we've been selling. And so we've pulled together quite a bit of money so far. And then all of a sudden, Danielle calls me up and said, "There's a winter camp. And it's down in South Carolina." And she's going. And she gave me her flight plan and everything. And so anyway, Lucinda and I got together. We were able to book the flights, get a discount on the actual tuition, and talk about persistence. We persisted, didn't we, Lucinda? We sat at that computer and we worked through all of that. Oh my gosh. And so anyway, this Friday, right? This Friday, the entire weekend through the 21st, Elijah and Isaac are going to be going to teen camp. And if any of you have seen the video on teen camp put out by CSL, it's awe-inspiring, huh? No, I'm talking about the video that CSL puts out where they interviewed all the young people at teen camp. It's awe-inspiring, yeah. And then Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay. And so anyway, they are going to be on the same flight as Danielle, and so they'll all arrive at the same time, and they'll come back at the same time. And I just yes, the universe worked. Yeah, right. I think there were like 2 or 3 seats left or something when we booked it, right? I mean, it was right. And yes, these are the big miracles. So, I'm sure from Lucinda's standpoint, because she had a vision at one point in time, and now it's unfolding. It's unfolding, and there's a flow to it. It's just amazing. So that's what I'm talking about. What's a need that you can see in the world? And what is your burning desire? What is that burning desire? I know there are people who already have burning desires in this room, and they're unfolding. And so we hold all I hold all of you in prayer, and I know our practitioners are willing to hold all of you in prayer, that this year be the year in which those burning desires are, in which you really apply spiritual action to it and bring it into manifestation, because you are here for a purpose, and your purpose is important. It's important to the planet. And I'm so grateful for each and every one of you for all the parts that you play in. Here's another burning desire to help teens, right? And burning desire for music as well. Yeah, so it's lovely. So thank you for letting me highlight the teen um, program. I'm so happy you were here. Yes. Woo! So let's turn within in prayer. Just knowing in this moment that our hearts are wide open and ready and available to what Ernest Holmes calls the divine influx, that just the flow into our very being of all of the ideas and resources and guidance and every solution possible are being provided in this very moment, in, through, and as us, because we are open and willing and available to be used by Spirit for the greater good of our lives and for the greater good of the planet. We are here in service to the highest good, in service to the highest good. And I give thanks that the one life, the one presence, the one power, the creative intelligence of the universe that gave birth to this universe is right here in the center of all of our being. I know that our human mind may tend to discount that, but I'm knowing that even modern physics is showing this amazing unity that is present underlying this physical reality. So we are tapping into that underlying unity right here and right now, not only the divine inspiration, the flow of ideas, we are tapping into the all power, the power that the law that gives birth to miracles. We are here today with an attitude of miracle making, because we know who we are, we know whose we are, and we are here to be of service. So I'm just so grateful for this, knowing I know that each and every person here today is giving birth to the next version of themselves. Yay, and yes, the 2019 version. I give thanks for that. I'm so grateful for that. I release this word to the omni-action of the universal law of mind, and I invite us all to say together, yes, and so it is. Woo!